Trucker Television is brought to you by International Truckload Services Incorporated, a great place to work. Tiger Tool, specialized tools since 1984. SE Freight Systems, the spirit of Ontario. Welcome to Trucker Television, celebrating life on the road. This week on Trucker Television. Laidlaw Tank, #1 in Canada. Legendary trucker, Neil McDonald. But first, one cool Harley Lone Star.
My name is Jake Landman. I'm from Drayton, Ontario. I've been driving trucks off and on since about 1978, 79, I guess is when I started.
Why trucking?
Actually, I was brought up on a pig farm. My dad bought a couple trucks. We got into the trucking then, and I actually started, we hauled some local stuff to help out on the farm. And then from there I went to hauling gravel out of Milton and Caledon, and triaxle dump trucks, basically in the Toronto area. And in the wintertime, we'd haul salt out of Goderich, and actually out of Parry Sound as well. We'd spend the week up at Parry Sound and haul salt out of there to points north. And I guess after that, we moved down to Windsor and got into the flatbed. I was hauling lumber out of Windsor for a number of years, just into basically day trips going into Ohio, Indiana, Michigan. I've kind of been in flatbeds all my life. I did a little bit of van work, but the flatbeds, I enjoy that a lot more just because of the variety and a little more exercise. Yeah, I actually got out of trucking for a little while, for about 10, 12 years. I went into banking and stockbrokering a little bit, got out of it a little bit. When I was in Windsor doing some trucking there, I was taking some night courses at the college, had my truck parked there at night. A lot of guys thought I had some other activities going on besides taking courses there.
Later on at night when the kids are in bed, we carry on together like newlyweds. We have a great time. Man, that girl's all mine. Yeah, it's a good life. Yeah, it is.
I guess it was late 90s. I got out of the banking and all that finance business, got back into trucking again, and been doing that since that time till now. The independence of the trucking I missed that. There was too many people to report to, and I love the independence, I guess, of the trucking. Of course it has its downfalls. You're not home as much as you'd like to be, because I do long haul right now. I run down the coast, a lot down to the East Coast, down the Carolinas, down into Florida. I'd also go cross country. I've been to California, out to Portland, Oregon, so I've been around.
Later on at night when the kids are in bed.
Yeah, wife and 4 kids. Yeah, and that was actually the reason I got out of trucking back in '87, because at that time I figured, I wanted to spend some time, and that kind of worked out. By the time I got back into it again in the late '90s, the kids get older, and I guess they're on their own a little more too, so that worked out okay. So
yeah, it's a good life.
Yeah, there's an ISX 500 Cummins in it with 18 speed, so it runs really nice. Of course, the one I had before was a little older, so it had lots of bangs and funny noises in it. So this one rides pretty nice, pretty quiet. Yeah, it certainly does the job. Once you get used to all the attention that the thing gets, because you don't see these trucks in the U.S. as much either. There seems to be a lot more of these, especially the Harley edition, but the Lone Star trucks, you don't see that many in the U.S., so they get a lot more attention down there. And even when I unload, a lot of times you got 5 or 6 guys walking around the truck when you're unloading, and they're just kind of looking around and taking a picture. And sometimes I'm getting fuel at the fuel stops too. Some other drivers will come in, they want to jump inside and take a look. I said, that's okay as long as you take your shoes off, then you're allowed in my truck. But
Now, hey, proud father of 4, what if one of the kids approaches Dad and says, hey, I'm going to go get my AZ? What would you say to that?
I don't know. I'd say if you have a young family, it's tough. I mean, I think it's okay to do it when you're young, before you got a young family, but when you're a young family, I'm not so sure it's the greatest idea. And then maybe when your kids are older again, when all they look at you for is maybe what's in your wallet, then you can go back out and see the country again. But because it's a tough life for a young family, there's no doubt about that. But it's great if you like the independence. You know, you're your own boss. It's great that way. So I wouldn't discourage them, but I wouldn't encourage them either. Let's put it that way.
After the break, Laidlaw Tank, #1 in Canada.
Laidlaw Carriers Tank Division. Join the winning team. Tank industry leaders. A professional company with professional drivers. Late model equipment. Local and regional hauling. Now hiring professional drivers. A great place to work. Laidlaw Carriers Tank Division.
It's the #1 training facility for motorcycle mechanics in Canada. The course here is amazing. The teachers are amazing. This is where it's at.
Advanced welding techniques, training for success. Come see our new virtual training lab at advancedwelding.ca.
Choose one of our existing audio kits or design your own at hogtunes.com. Hogtunes, audio solutions for the great American cruiser.
Why pay more? Check us out. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader. We have parts, accessories, and lots more for all makes of cruisers, V-twin and metric. Canada's largest selection of helmets and clothing. Shop our website, shop by phone, or visit any one of our huge superstores. Why pay more? Check us out. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader.
Closed captioning, brought to you by Laidlaw Tank LP, #1 in Canada.
Well, I've been busting this old blue collar, ditching long neck bottles, pinching every...
What's so cool about trucks?
It's a lifestyle. It's an attraction. There's people say there's romance in it. I've never seen any romance in the seat of a truck or from the cab of a truck, but certainly once you get to the time you get to spend out meeting people and interacting with different industries, knowing what products are used for, what the end result of those products is, it's certainly a better way to make a living, or a more interesting way to make a living than a lot of ones that you might choose where you're in a factory or stuck doing one job. It changes every day. The variety is overwhelming in the trucking industry of what you can do. The sales guys, mechanics, wash bay personnel, dispatchers, most of us have A licenses and are able to tackle the job when it has to be done, or tackle a specialized job too. I think that's a selling point that we can use with our customers, that hey, when you get busy and it's got to get done, we're the company that gets it done.
You know, I guess the heart of the whole operation is who's driving the trucks.
The most important person in our operation, that's for sure. Next comes dispatcher, and the rest of us are all just support staff to those two functions, really.
Now, have drivers changed?
Absolutely, they've had to. You've got a much more professional breed of driver out there today. A lot of people were in the business and they weren't professionals. They didn't wear safety gear at times. They were out passing snow plows on a snowy night when they shouldn't have been and ended up hitting the snow plows. And they blame everybody else for their mistakes instead of looking at themselves. And those are the guys that failed in this business. There is room here now for the professional driver to make a living and make a really, really good living at this too. And it's an enjoyable job. Hey, let's face it, why do most guys do this job? Because they enjoy driving. They enjoy being by themselves or out on the road, having the freedom to be their own boss as an owner-operator. And hey, nobody is really their own boss. People are only, their boss is really the customer. And when the customer wants the load, that's who the ultimate boss is in all of this. So it's not like you have the freedom to turn loads down. If you start turning loads down in our business, whether you be the company, the driver, the owner-operator, we just lose our credibility, because that's when the customer wants the load, that's the most important thing. That's the most important factor. That's why we're here, is because the customer needs us to provide a service when they need the product. We have a saying around our company, and we have the 7 keys to successful trucking. 2 of the most important are insurance and operating authority. Those 2 you can't operate without, and you'll be shut down immediately if you don't have them. But you have to have good quality drivers and owner-operators, good utilization, good customers, financial stability, and vision and growth. And if you don't have one of those key 7 success factors, your company will eventually fail. Immediately with the first 2 that I mentioned, and gradually or slowly with the other 5 that I mentioned. But it's inevitable that you will fail without those 7 things. Neil McDonald's my hero. He's my senior driver, been at Laidlaw longer than I have been. And the man just deserves the ultimate of respect and courtesy, reward, call it whatever you want. I asked Neil, I said, what's the key to your success, Neil? He said, Dave, I just take my time at everything I do. I never get riled, I never get excited. I never let anybody else's schedule influence mine. And something he said to me is, he said, I never ever think about what I've got to do tomorrow or the next day. I concentrate on what I'm doing today. And that made so much sense. And that's a key to his success right there. And if a lot of people would just focus on that and what they're doing today and now at the moment, they'd be a lot safer.
After the break, Legend of the Week, Neil and his Pete.
Laidlaw Carriers Tank Division. Join the winning team. Tank Industry Leaders. A professional company with professional drivers. Late model equipment. Local and regional hauling. Now hiring professional drivers. A great place to work. Laidlaw Carriers Tank Division.
It's the #1 training facility for motorcycle mechanics in Canada. The course here is amazing. The teachers are amazing. This is where it's at.
Advanced welding techniques. Training for success. Come see our new virtual training lab at advancedwelding.ca.
Dragon Jeans, what Biker TV rides in.
Why pay more? Check us out. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader. We have parts, accessories, and lots more for all makes of cruisers, V-twin, and metric. Canada's largest selection of helmets and clothing. Shop our website, shop by phone, or visit any one of our huge superstores. Why pay more? Check us out. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader.
The Biker TV National Show and Shine. West, Sturgis North. East, Thunder in the Highlands. Central, the Bikers Reunion. The Biker TV National Show and Shine. Ontario Truck Driving School. Training for your future. Your path to success. Thousands of jobs.
Met a lot of people, know a lot of faces. Not good with names, but certainly met a lot of people over the years.
Are truckers different now than they used to be?
It's changed a lot. It's the business-wise, it's changed as much as the people, but before, you know, it was get together, go for lunch or breakfast and help one another, and now the world is too much of a hurry. It's hurry, hurry, there's no time to stop and enjoy company. This is a 2011 Peterbilt 388 model. It's got 250,000 kilometers on it now. I run mainly New Brunswick with this truck. It does a good job. It's got the pollution emission control stuff on, which can be a nuisance, but it's good for the environment. Well, my father owned trucks back when I was just young, sold out in about 1960, but lived around them, so just grew up with them and got into it.
Do you remember your first load as a trucker?
That's going back a long ways. My first load was driving an international tandem dump truck, hauling chips for the tar and chips on the highway.
Was it a proud moment, or was it just, thank God I'm going to get a paycheck?
Well, it was one of those deals. It was, the first week was a nervous wreck. After that, kind of settled down in. Just making sure I could do it and get through it without any problems. Oh yeah, and then the paycheck, of course, was nice.
Why tanks?
Well, I originally started out with a tandem dump, trailer dump, did flatbed, you know, and then got to the tanks. It's just a little thing I like. Got half decent at it and enjoy it.
Well, there seems to be, again, the odd snag to the tanks, and they can plug up, and they can, all kinds of crazy things can happen.
Oh yeah, it has its nightmares, but once you know the basics, it's all fun and games and learning how to prevent and get out of bad situations. I mean, sometimes I think I'm a glutton for punishment, but it has been a great job. As of August this year, it'll be 38 years with Laidlaw. Oh, there's been a lot of highs and lows. Some of the highs, the longer trips down to Texas and stuff. Getting a few awards here and there, but it's nice to get out and be free.
Well, what would you say to somebody who's thinking about maybe being a trucker these days?
It's a different way of life. As long as you don't mind being away from home, it's a great way to be a paid tourist.
After the break, Laidlaw tank, #1 in Canada.
Why pay more? Check us out. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader. We have parts, accessories, and lots more for all makes of cruisers, V-twin and metric. Canada's largest selection of helmets and clothing. Shop our website. Shop by phone or visit any one of our huge superstores. Why pay more? Check us out. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader.
It's the #1 training facility for motorcycle mechanics in Canada.
The course here is amazing. The teachers are amazing. This is where it's at.
Advanced welding techniques, training for success. Come see our new virtual training lab at advancedwelding.ca.
Trucker Television, Canada's hottest new show.
My grandpa's a trucker. He helps feed kids like me.
Canada's hottest new show, Trucker Television.
Laidlaw Carriers Tank Division. Join the winning team. Tank Industry Leaders. A professional company with professional drivers. Late model equipment. Local and regional hauling. Now hiring professional drivers. A great place to work. Laidlaw Carriers Tank Division.
Ontario Truck Driving School. Training for your future. Your path to success. Thousands of jobs.
You're in the top 10, but all those 10 are fighters.
Vision and growth, like I mentioned, as one of the key success factors. You know, we live and breathe that every day. We're not content just to rely on the status quo and where it is. So many truckers, so many trucking companies say things aren't like they used to be. Well, get used to it. Things aren't like they used to be. It's changing in this industry, and everything else in North America and the world is changing. So you have to adapt to the change. Louise, another long-time employee, she came to us. She started with us way back in the Dunford days and came over to Laidlaw. And I'll tell you, there's a girl that she's a professional in every sense of the word. She knows how to get a job done. And sometimes people don't like her the most for being able to get it done, but she certainly understands.
So the four of us do the board here. We have 50 drivers, probably 80 trailers, and you make sure everything gets done. And the other boards, I think, work the same way. There's 4 or 5 dispatchers, and just we make sure the trucks get out and everybody's looked after. And one of the things here, we change products all the time. So you have to be really careful and know going from one product to the other. If you have to wash, is it compatible? You keep busy from the time you get here until the time you leave. You try to keep the customers happy, the drivers happy, and Laidlaw happy. We have good drivers. We have great management. And you just get out there and you just keep going. Looking after your customers that you already have is really important because you're going to have them forever. And without the customer, we don't go anywhere. So that's one thing. You have to really look after your customers.
And that's what I call Kevin, Mr. Bling. If he's in charge of keeping the fleet clean, keeping the wash bays running, keeping men in the wash bays, keeping the trucks polished, and all of that. He can be very frustrated at times because a lot of drivers take the trucks out and it almost seems like they're on a mission to get it dirty just so Kevin has to clean and polish it again. So I think sometimes Kevin has one of the most frustrating jobs.
When we bring the trailer into the wash bay, we open up the bottom lines, dropouts, and then we go up top. We have a high-powered spin head that drops down inside the tank. We have trailers that come in, cement trailers, and get dumped on with the cement product. The cement will get rained on, and then it'll come in here, it'll dry. So we use pressure and chemicals to clean up the exteriors as well. We're extremely busy. We run a 24-hour operation, including weekends, and we're constantly washing. We have a fleet of maybe 40 or 50 company trucks out of this yard, so they'll get washed and degreased at least once a week, if not more. And through the summertime, we're polishing all the aluminum, stainless on them, keeping them looking good.
Maintenance is the second biggest spend behind the truck and trailers that we have. So the money that you're spending, the money that we're spending, Steve is in charge of.
Well, I am responsible for maintaining a fleet of 200 tanks, pneumatic tanks, 100 liquid tanks, and we have 60 to 70 company trucks and about 140 owner-operators. Trucks are greased and serviced every 12,000 kilometers and maintained, and the equipment comes in on a monthly basis, and we have checklists that we go through. Well, safety is paramount in our business. You know, you have to train your guys. You have to make sure that they're checking every little thing, because you can't afford to have an accident in this business.
We'll continue to prosper. We'll continue to acquire companies or gain customers, and do things the proper way, the professional way, so that customers talk to each other and they want to have a carrier that's on the same wavelength as them. A lot of our growth just comes from internal growth. As a customer grows, we naturally grow with them. It's always nice to get new accounts and be able to grow that way. But growing with the customers that you have now is one of the key success factors to our business.
Thank you for watching Trucker Television, celebrating life on the road. This isn't our show, it's yours. We invite your feedback. Watch all our exciting episodes at truckertelevision.com. Trucker Television is brought to you by Locomo Systems, Transportation Specialists, Tourism Quebec, La Belle Province, Nor Trucks, bringing you the best of both worlds.